What's up, members? I am going to show you in this video how to draw an order block on the charts. I'm going to show you 3 ways of how to do it, and you can decide for yourself what suits you best, what you prefer, backtest it, try it, see how you get on with each way. They're all very similar, and you'll probably find on different time frames they do actually cover each other off anyway. So I'm going to focus on this example here. This is current price action as of today. So I'm going to get my box tool, the little rectangular tool. Let me just move that out so you can see what I'm using, that one there. Now the first way, and this is how I personally do it, I take the wick low of the candle before the void, before the drop. Okay, there has to be a void, and it has to be some kind of breaker structure for it to be a valid order block. So I click on that bottom wick. I actually use the magnet tool to help me with that, and then I draw it all the way to the high to protect that high, and that is how I personally draw my order block. So bottom of the wick on the last candle before the fair value gap, the void, the imbalance, to the top of the high of that little zone. Okay, nice and simple. The second way, which I think is quite commonly taught in ICT, is that you use the last bullish or bearish candle before the bullish or bearish move. So in this instance, it would be this bearish candle before the bearish move. Okay, so it would be wick to the top of the body. There's no wick at the top there. Draw it across, and you can see it does the same thing. The reason why I don't do it this way is because if you put your stop here, let's say just over the order block, but in here on a lower time frame, say the 1 minute, you've got another one in here that price may be looking to tap into or respect for whatever reason, you will get stopped out. That's the reason I take the high or the low into consideration, just to protect yourself that little bit more. But it is completely up to you. Excuse me. See what works for you. The final way is, I wouldn't technically call it an order block, but you are just drawing out the same zone. So you would basically go from low to high. This is more supply and demand technically. Okay, you would go from low to high, draw the range, and you've got your block once again. The benefit to this way of doing it, and I'll be honest, I do use this way sometimes myself, is that it takes into account a portion of that fair value gap, which I do like, because sometimes you do get price just taps into that fair value gap and then moves away from there. So let me just go over those 3 one more time. So you've got the candle before the drop or the push up, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, you have the last bullish or bearish candle before the last bullish or bearish move. So in this case, the red candle there before the drop. Or you can use the whole zone and take into account a portion of the fair value gap. It doesn't matter which one you use, it doesn't matter which time frame you use. There are a few things you need to bear in mind when choosing an order block that actually make it valid. So let me just find another example for you. So this one's a good one here. So if I use this candle here, okay, this is the last candle printed before a fair value gap. Okay, we've got a fair value gap there across a few different candles. As you can see, gap, 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 gap. It also broke structure. Okay, break of structure. So let me just put those on the screen. They are our key points. So number one, must leave a fair value gap. Okay, number two, it must break structure. Okay, those are the two key points we need for it to be a valid fair value gap. It must create a void and it must break structure. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's helpful. Any questions, throw them in the chat, and I will see you in the next video.